Live on Facebook and YouTube.
All right.
All right.
And James, you hear me good?
Yeah.
All right. Do you hear me when I hit mute on this, by the way? If I hit mute here, can you still hear me?
You're coming back to the audience, Nick. You got to mute it.
What'd you say?
You have to mute it. It comes back to the audience, even if he can't hear you.
No, I'm saying if I mute that, if I had to say something to you.
I can hear you from here. Fine.
No, I'm talking about from the camera. All right. We're live?
We're live.
Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. James, you got to tell me when we're live.
I said we're live.
I didn't hear you because I was talking shit to you. All right, guys. So I'm live right now with Phil Ross. Phil has been a friend of mine for years. I've known Phil probably since the Buddha Sport days. We're going back to 15
about 20 years.
Yeah,
it's 20 years. Yeah.
And you still look fantastic, Phil, by the way.
Thanks, man.
But the reason why I wanted to bring him on and I wanted to chat with him, if you don't follow him on Instagram, make sure you follow him on Instagram. Phil, drop your handle real quick for everybody.
Okay, that's Master Phil Ross.
Okay.
Master, yeah, right? That's it.
And so that's it. Yeah, well, you'll get it. So we'll drop it off as he looks it up. Yeah. Phil is a functional training expert, martial artist, but mostly kettlebells and functional training. And if you look at him, he looks fantastic. And in our industry, whether it's your hips, your back, your shoulders, your neck, as hairstylists, your body takes a beating from standing in one spot all day long, from bending over, being in weird positions, doing highlights, doing extensions, cutting hair, using a blow dryer, using a brush, having someone with long hair, or having your arms above your head. And unfortunately, you will not be able to last in this industry if you don't take care of your body. And whether it is a combination of nutrition, functional training, any kind of movement, any kind of exercise is going to be important for you. But Phil, I want you to take the audience through a journey of what exactly is functional training, how kettlebells tie into that specifically, because you're obviously a kettlebell expert, you're a master trainer of kettlebells, and how it could really help men, women, it doesn't matter gender. Fitness is fitness. And specifically kettlebells, a lot of women don't really understand the power of kettlebells, from the hip hinge to your shoulder to just how amazing they are as an instrument to really get your body to a place where you can work and be happy and not hurt and feel pain.
Well,
so take over.
Nick, I want to thank you for having me on your show, and it's great to see you, great to talk to you again. We kind of got COVID kind of messed everybody up for a little while. We went here, went there. Who knows what we were doing, where we were going. And you brought up hairstylists. It's not just hairstylists though. I've worked a lot, not simply with fighters and professional athletes, but surgeons. Sometimes you have a surgeon stuck in a position for like 3 hours. Okay. Yeah. I've trained neurosurgeons, back surgeons, shoulder surgeons, all these guys that are there stuck in this position for a long time. So it does get a little tense there, I would imagine. If it was up to me, there'd be a lot of dead people. So they gotta have my part in society here. So, we're talking about the functional training. It all starts with the back, your spine. Everything comes from the central nervous system, right? And the thing is, we don't take care of our posterior chain. Posterior chain, people talk about core. They think it's abs. It's not.
Okay, so for the people who are very, very basic when it comes to knowledge of the human body, the posterior chain is your lower back, your back, everything behind you. Or
from the back of your head to your heels. Okay. That's your posterior chain. And how many people even look at that? Everyone looks at the front in the mirror. They don't pay attention to the back. But if you think about it, we are. And the thing is that, the strongest muscles in your upper body are your lats. The strongest in your lower body are your glutes. So pay attention to them. They bode attention. The other thing is the whole notion of a neutral spine. There's a couple of different things that I've actually been able to help people with, and we're talking about the neutral spine. Does everyone know where the rhomboids are? If you don't know where they are the muscles, the support muscles that control the scapular region. Okay, so if people are so inclined, I would like them to be able to stand up, squeeze their shoulders together, and then bend forward. and tell me what happens. Because when you do that, you've activated. I'm going to get a little sciencey here. There's 3 muscles, support muscles, that run from the base of your skull all the way down. They're called the erector spinae. They go the full length of the spine.
Okay.
And then you have smaller ones, which are called the multifidi, and they connect 2 to 3 vertebrae. Those are all the support muscles. When we squeeze the rhomboids together, that activates all the support muscles of the lower spine, the whole spine from top to bottom. This helps you maintain that neutral spine. Like you see this, my shirt here, Body Build Method, Live Better Longer. On the back, it says neutral spine all the time, squeeze the rhomboids, pack the shoulders, engage the lats, and tighten the butt and tighten the gut. Those are all my sayings. If you're in my classes, you're taking my seminars, that's what you'll hear that a lot. And it's funny that you mentioned women, because last night, Christine Conti,
it sounds
Fit
familiar.
Fix Now. Yeah, she's pretty big. She had me on with her women's group from women all over the world. I was talking about kettlebells and functional training with them, and I'll get all into what the different, why I prefer the kettlebell the best, and then also I do a lot of seminars just for women with the SCW. I do kettlebells for women, female athlete, and obviously the hidden core. So these are some of the seminars that I do. And like, what am I addressing here? Why do I feel the kettlebell is so fantastic? You know what? You can actually, if you have 4 different size kettlebells, you can be fit for the rest of your life. That's it.
Okay.
If you have,
kettlebells, by the way, but I just want to, don't mean to cut you off, but my lower back was shot a while ago. And I started watching this person on Instagram talking about how great the kettlebells for your lower back. And for me, I'm like, you bend over. How could it be good for your lower back? And then I was like, well, I'm doing it wrong.
Yep.
And then I came across your page. You have so much good information on there, how to properly hip hinge, how to hold the kettlebell, how to lock your lats in. And you went through the whole, I think it was actually during COVID. You really broke a lot of stuff down. And as a hairstylist, so my hands are always up here. And then a lot of people have headaches. They don't know why they have headaches. And it all comes from, like you said, your scapula, your rhomboids, the posterior chain affects yourself. When you're doing extensions, you're in that position for hours.
See what you just did? Everybody does it. They shrug up. You know what? Ears or shoulder poison. You do this, you take your shoulder out, you're stressing your neck out, your back out. Which brings me to another point. This country is not headed in a neckademic. And I write about that in the book.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone. And listen, I've led seminars for decades, and I have, let's say 1 out of 10 instructors that I have up there work on the neck. Why aren't you working on your neck? It's part of the posterior chain. It's part of your spine. Hey, it's the C-spine. That's why they call it the C-spine. It's part of your spine. You need to strengthen those muscles in the neck. You need to stretch the muscles in the neck. They need to be mobile. They need to be strong. And it's fine. I know I do that too all the time. As a matter of fact, I have a new book coming out. It's being dropped on October 27th. I wrote it for the dummies people.
Okay.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. It's on pre-sale right now.
Like a dummy's guide to whatever, those people, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
It's honestly, this thing is a masterpiece. I have to say, I brought somebody in with me. I got the book deal, and then they said, well, this is going to be medically based too, so we need to bring in a medical expert. I said, don't worry, I got one, and I got this guy, Dr. Pat Roth. He wrote the book, The End of Back Pain. I was his personal trainer for 10 years. We were on TV together.
He talks about kettlebells in that book
all the time. Yeah. He thanks me in the book. He thanks me in the book.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so I said, we got to bring Pat in. So I brought him in. The guy's an incredible neurosurgeon. We were on TV together, did a tour about his book and about back pain and so forth. So
he actually recommends not getting surgery. That's the kind of surgeon he's fucking awesome. I love him.
I'll tell you, here's one of the things. We had a little bit of an issue because we told him right away, we're going to be counterculture. Because a lot of people in the medical industry do not like him because he thinks that they say he's cannibalizing his business. He goes, wait a minute, we're supposed to make people healthy. We're just supposed to pat our pockets on people's pain. I like that one.
Yeah. I talk to so many stylists every day, and like they can't do hair anymore because their shoulder hurts, their back, their carpal tunnel. They went to a surgeon to get it fixed, and they're worse off than they ever were.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
It's just
Well,
not the answer.
well, I will tell you this. You know Frank Shamrock, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know. We have a pretty good relationship. We've known
Yeah.
each other for a long time. So I saw him last year. His back. I mean, it looks miserable. He put the X-rays. I've been in pain for 2.5 years. Da 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 da. I hit him up. I go, bro, why don't you contact me? Right. So we're talking. I go, let me give it a shot because he wants to avoid surgery. He was in pain 2.5 years. He's actually cutting a promo for me,
Okay.
but within 2 months, he was pain free. He's back teaching seminars. He was up in Alaska teaching our special forces. He was out teaching submission fighting in Hawaii. He's back doing his thing, and he's just been on my program.
So if you can get him back doing that again, you could probably get somebody doing a blowout again, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, I also have. Are you talking about shoulders?
Yeah, because I think honestly, majority of I wish I had Jessica here too.
Mhm.
She's shorter, right? She's
Mhm.
one of our owners here at the salon, and
Mhm.
she's just very small. And so
Mhm.
for her, she's always up here, and she always will have something on her shoulder it's hurting her, or her back, or her neck, or a headache, or something from that. And so it's really difficult. And she works out too, but she does not do kettlebells.
What does she do? Yeah, she doesn't
She
do kettlebells. No,
bodybuilds. That's the problem. She does more of a
that's the problem.
bodybuilding type workout.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. If you look at, and I urge everyone to do this. I have this warm up. It's called the Total Body Warm Up. Master Phil's Total Body Warm Up. Right on my YouTube channel. You can get to it from my websites too. It's at the Master Phil. That workout is like 5.5 minutes. I've been doing it every day for over 30 years. Talk about your mobility, warming the body up. And I'll tell you, I work out every morning. You don't have to kill it every morning, but do something. Listen, do you have a dog or a cat?
I do.
Yeah. What does a dog do or cat do when they get up from a nap? First
She
thing,
stretch.
boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Right? How come we don't do that? Why do we not stretch when you get up?
Well,
Our
usually
animals smarter than us.
we wake up, we have a cup of coffee, which dehydrates your muscle even more. It stimulates your hormone system, so it actually increases cortisol in your body, which makes you even more prone to injury. And
Yep.
we don't really eat healthy from the get-go, let alone stretch. So we just set ourselves up for failure, especially in
get-
our industry from the
Yeah,
get-go.
jump. So here, first thing you do, this is what I do every morning. I get up. Well, I don't take it too graphic, but I go to the bathroom first. But I go and I put the coffee on. I drink water with lemon. I get out my staff. I do my stretching routine, and then sometimes I do primal move, or I'll do calisthenics, or maybe a little kickboxing routine, just something like whatever, 10, 15 minutes, and then my coffee's ready. Now I can have my coffee.
Yeah, you get the
But
blood flowing.
I've done things before that. I've woken my body up. I had water. I chugged my water. And I like putting lemon in the water too. So, I get a little
All
vitamin
right,
C
so
in
let's
there,
get back.
little
Let's get back to kettlebells real quick.
citrus. Okay,
So
sorry.
my kettlebells are your favorite, especially
Yes.
for this.
Yeah. Okay. So now when we're talking to say, well, what's the difference? I can do the same thing with a dumbbell. Well, yes and no. You have to understand that dumbbells. I'm not even going to address machines, because they can actually exacerbate asymmetries and so forth. They actually promote it. But if you're using a barbell or a dumbbell, right, they have a unilateral distribution of weight. So we're basically working in the frontal and sagittal planes and most of the exercises. Where does life occur? Where does sport occur? In the transverse
Rotation.
plane.
Yeah.
Yep. Across, right? Moving across. Everything. You're going across. You run, you walk, you pick something up, you carry something, right? You're going across. Kettlebells operate in that transverse plane. And if you look at the shape of the kettlebell, right? It's got an offset center of gravity. Okay, we have a ball with a handle. The kettlebell, the dumbbell, the barbell has a universal distribution of weight. The kettlebell does not. It starts off here. As soon as you move it, you have to recruit all of those stabilizers in order to get that bell where it needs to go.
Yeah.
So this is one of the great advantages. Here, look, now, if you look at some of the explosive movements, right? How many people can do a barbell snatch? What, 10% of the people? Most people don't have the thoracic strength, mobility, or technique to do it safely. But you know what? Almost anybody can do a kettlebell snatch. It's a hell of a lot safer. And you're getting that bang for the buck. You can do tons and tons of reps. Look, when you're doing Olympic lifting, like I will have an issue with some of the CrossFit people.
Well, a lot of hairstyles do CrossFit. Like
Terrible.
I see a lot of them doing that because it puts you in good shape, right? But it does hurt your, and plus for what we do, it wreaks havoc on your lower back and your shoulders.
Yep. Yeah. Well, one of the reasons is, am I against the movements that they do? No, I love most of the movements they do. It's just that doing some of these things for number of
Reps.
reps and time, it's not smart. It's not prudent. Okay. You're not doing it safe. You're like, you should never do a Turkish get up for time or reps. Never. Okay. You see that guy who did that 255-pound world record get up?
No,
It was ridiculous. 255-pound.
he did with a what was his device he held? What was the weight?
Barbell.
A barbell.
Barbell, even harder. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's nuts. I'll tell you what, he's not doing it for rep and times. He's focused on each
He did a
move because-
single-handed 225
no,
pound.
255.
55?
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
that's wild.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Look, look, I know the Turkish get up is such a great rehabilitative and strength building movement, but you have to own each section of it. Like, I have my people pause and take a breath at each different stage of the get up. Why? You need to own the position. You're getting that time under tension. You're not going to do that with a barbell like this. Okay. Also when you're looking at accessing the posterior chain, you can't swing a barbell between your legs. And if you do a dumbbell, it's not going to operate properly. Okay. Because your shoulder position, because you have to have your shoulder back and down. As soon as, if you look at it, I put a whole series out called Your Bench is BS, Your Squat Sucks, Your Row is Ridiculous, Your Press Doesn't Impress Me, and Your Deadlift is Dumb. Okay. And what I did was, am I necessarily against all those movements? No, but I'm showing people options. Because, look, how old are you now, Nick? What are you?
46 as yesterday.
46. Yeah. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks.
Now, at a certain age, why are you bench pressing? Why?
There's really no need to.
No need to. No need to. There's
I tore both
plenty
my
of
pecs.
evidence.
You know that, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I tore this pec benching, and because of that, I compensated on a swing.
Compensate with you. Yeah.
And then I tore this one later on.
Yeah. See, that's, you have to understand that a lot of the training that we have, which is, we think is old school. It's really not old school. It's old new school. Okay. The old school training was actually, kettlebells were here in 1800s. Gymnastics, calisthenics were big. But the thing is, with the whole reader generation, the bodybuilding generation, that kind of took the forefront because people could sell equipment with it. Okay, here. If you think about this on everything comes down to money, right? If you buy one set of kettlebells, do you need anything else?
No, you're good.
No, you're done. That's it, right? So if you have kettlebells and knowledge, you don't need these gyms. But if you need a stepper, you need the latest bike, you need the latest
The Bowflex.
left elbow machine. I'm working my left tricep. Why is there a whole machine dedicated to small little muscle in your arm? Why? Because people make money on it. They sell that. They say, I'm focused on my tricep. You don't need to do that. Listen, when you walk, do you just use your one gastroc or one hamstring? No, use your whole leg. Use your whole body, as a matter of fact. So what the cool thing about the kettlebells is you focus on movement with with a bell, right? So you're weighting that movement. So the other things we focus on lower body push, lower body pull, upper body push, upper body pull, single side work, okay? Moving while you're working, loaded carries, things like that, hopping kettlebell swings. I mean, I don't know if I'm putting something out on that too. So, these are the different things that are the differentiators between a kettlebell and a standard workout. Now, the other thing is too, people do the same routines. Okay. If you're constantly doing the same routine, is it going to stimulate growth in the body? No, the body becomes used to it.
Yeah.
It gets used to it. The thing is with kettlebells, I mean, I've designed over 500 workouts. Now, I have like hundreds of them online already. You see this? There's like 500 workouts in there. That's my next book. So, and the thing is, it's such it's a handheld gym, right? And it's the knowledge that you need for them, and that's the thing. And is it difficult to get the knowledge? Well, you have to concentrate. It's not like you're sitting on a machine and doing a circuit where you go one machine, next machine, next machine, next machine. No, we are focused. We are dialed in. But you know what, though? We have to raise our consciousness. We have to apply that mindset to our training. We want to be engaged. Man, when I have my studio, I say, everyone's cell phones outside. The outside world does not exist.
Well, part of doing things that are hard, right? Convincing yourself when you don't feel like working out, going to the gym. And this is why it's part of one of my 5 non-negotiables for my coaching program is move daily. It's because when you actually do that and you get that first thing done in the morning, which is where I like to work out, the rest of your day, you're like, wow, you accomplished something. But you build a discipline. And so as an owner of a hair salon, or you're doing hard things, you start developing that discipline muscle, and then you're able to get through the hard times. And you have to exhaust the body to tame the mind. There's a lot of stress in owning a business. There's a lot of stress in dealing with the public. And if you can learn how to do that, it's much easier to handle life when you're fit and you're not injured. You don't have pain. You don't have a headache. And if you could just do one thing in the morning to move, that does all that.
100%, because like you said, you accomplish something, and it's a great way to kickstart your day, get your system going. That's why, even though it's not my main workout of the day, always, but I hit something every morning, no matter what. Now, the other thing is that you're talking about like working out. See, also it helps you with your health and recovery from illness. Why? Because when you're working out, you're breaking down the muscle and healing, right? Breaking, healing, breaking, healing, breaking, healing. Guess what? Your body is used to recovering. It's used to healing so that you can heal better when you do get sick, when you do get a disease. And actually, there was just an article from the British Journal of Medicine that says that cancer patients should be lifting weights and doing kettlebells.
Really?
Yep. And
Well,
another
that's
one.
great.
Yeah, I know, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I downloaded. I should kick it over to you. And then there was another one that they had in regard to just working out 5 minutes a day helps your brain immensely. Just 5 minutes a day. Huge. Do something. Listen, you don't have to do what I do. We don't have to do what you do, but do something. And do something that's going to stimulate and hit all 5 of the components of fitness, because you have to hit all 5. You have to have your muscular fitness, which includes your strength, your explosive power, your muscular endurance, right? You obviously get all those with a kettlebell. Then you look at your cardiovascular conditioning, get that heart rate up. Can you do that with a kettlebell? Heck yes. Okay. And then you want to look at the
Flexibility.
body. Well, actually, I call flexibility and mobility, because flexibility is only the elasticity or stretchiness, sponginess of a muscle, but the mobility is the ability to move through that full range of motion and develop strength through the full range of motion. So you need flexibility and mobility. Now, the other one, of course, is body composition, dropping down that fat. And here's another thing, and I love this one. It's called neuromuscular conditioning. That's that mind-body connection. That's that I'm focused on this. Yeah, you get that with Tai Chi, yoga, things like that, but you also get it with a kettlebell. So you're hitting all 5 aspects of fitness with just one tool, And it's the methodology that I have. Now, I don't know if I've been on quite a few podcast meetings past few days. But my program called the Body Bell Method is the only system that I know that's based on kettlebells that's actually approved for continuing education credits for physical therapists and now for chiropractors.
Really?
So, yeah. I'm doing it through. I got approved by the State Board of New Jersey for PTs, so DPTs can get credits from me.
It's called the Body Bell Method, right? You said
Body Bell Method. Yep.
Okay.
And it's a registered trademark. And the Also, I'm working with ICE, the not the guys at the border.
Yeah.
This
Super
is the Institute of Continuing Education. They have a location in Fairfield,
Mhm.
and they do certifications for chiropractors as well as PTs. I just signed a deal with them, so I'm delivering
Let
my
me ask you a quick
methodology.
question, because people love their chiropractors. Well, there's a love-hate relationship with them. Some people say,
Mhm.
don't ever go to them because they don't know what they're doing. They're not real doctors. Some people, they love them because they help them get rid of pain.
Mhm.
But when you start working out and you start building strength in your body, it's not really your bones that support your muscles. It's your muscles that truly support your bones, right?
Yes, yeah.
And
Here's
so
the thing.
having the right kind of movements and building that strength, especially people in our industry,
Mhm, mhm.
it's crucial that they at least build some kind of strength. And they're not going to get
100%.
bulky like a bodybuilder either.
No, look, and
And
all
I
these
think
women.
James, I
Women.
lost his sound.
Who's sound?
Phil's sound.
It's
You
on
can't
his
hear
end.
me?
Okay.
Are we okay? Yes.
I still can't hear you, Phil.
Oh,
You
okay.
might have hit mute or something.
Me? I didn't touch anything.
No, James, double check for me.
He's not
He didn't-
muted on
He didn't
my
touch
end.
anything.
I didn't touch anything.
Did his
Can you hear me?
microphone shut off?
No, it looks
Your
on.
microphone shut off.
Looks on to
Let me
me.
go
I'll
to
press
the
another button.
audio settings.
How
Go
about
to the
now?
audio settings, or just in settings and click audio.
Hello, can you hear me? How about now? No?
And I think he's just using his computer for a mic.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
the
no, I
mic is
got
going through.
I got this thing, this Yeti.
Maybe it died.
I hope not. Let me see. No, look, it says it's on. The lights are on. The lights are on.
Ladies and gentlemen, a little technical difficulty
Let me
on our live.
oy vey.
Tell him to back out and come back in.
Yeah, okay. So just I just jump out and jump back in. I'll leave studio and come
Back
back
out
in.
and come back in. But all right, guys. So what Phil was talking about, obviously, he's talking about kettlebells as a movement. He's a kettlebell expert. He trains people on them. He has all these different certifications. When you work out, or if you don't work out, when you're doing hair, you need something that's going to support your career. And if you could do one movement, because obviously we're busy, right? We don't have a lot of time. And so if you could maximize, like you said, the mobility, the flexibility, the strength, the movement, cardiovascular, you can get all that done in 10 to 15 to 20 minutes with a specific kettlebell workout that increases the strength and movement in your upper back and your shoulders and your rhomboids. And those things are tied to exactly what we do when we do hair. So when you're doing your blowouts, you're doing your foils for 3 hours behind the chair, you're doing your extensions, all of that is going to be strengthened in a way that it alleviates all of these ailments you have, the headaches, the shoulder pain, the backache, plus your lower back, plus your upper back, and then your wrists.
Oh,
So you build that grip strength. There he is. He's back.
hey, can you hear
The
me?
one thing I was just trying
Yeah,
to add
I
in
heard you.
while
Yeah,
you were gone. It's that grip strength too that a lot of people don't realize the kettlebells
absolutely.
work
Hey,
with.
the thing is that it's cool about kettlebells. It's all about grips and hips. Okay. So, and especially women, have a difficulty with grip. But if you're constantly grabbing that kettlebell, you're going to develop a killer grip. And the other thing is that we also have to deload too. So you have to make sure you're stretching properly, especially, if you're not used to, gripping so much, you're going to feel that. So we were talking about the certifications,
Yes.
how they work with doctors. We're talking about chiropractic.
Chiropractors, yeah.
That's where. Okay, so when I was competing and training a lot in martial arts, I went to a chiropractor quite often. Okay, I have not gone in years right now, although I do like chiropractors and they do have their place 100%. I support them. Actually, we support them in the book too. The Managing Back Pain for Dummies. We support chiropractors. But the thing is, unless you're doing strength and mobility training, it's not going to help you. It'll be a temporary relief. That's all it's going to be. They'll crack you, whack you, make you feel good, put you in alignment. But then what's going to happen? It's going to slip again because you have not developed the support muscles. This is one of the major differentiators with this kettlebell methodology that we employ, because we're developing the strength of the stabilizers. That is crucial. And look, is there some uptime? Is there a learning curve? Yes. But I will tell you this. I had this client come to me last year, 73 years old.
Okay.
He had trained with me years ago, but he moved to Jersey City, but now he moved back up here, so we're training again. And I didn't know what was going to happen. Guess what? The guy's 74 years old. He's doing Turkish get-ups. Yeah, I know. He goes, I'm a hero to my kids. They think that I'm like, they can't
Did he
believe I'm
maintain
doing.
good shape since he started working out 20 years ago? Okay.
Oh, yeah. He kept his, he was training with a guy in Jersey City. But now we're killing it. Now, this guy actually, in his 70s, put muscle on. He put on muscle.
No TRT or TRT?
Nothing. Nope. Me neither. I don't touch any of that stuff. And I'll tell you straight up, Nick, look, when I was in my, like 20 years ago, before I switched over completely to this methodology of training, I was between 450 and 600. That's, normal range.
Yeah.
I turned 62 in October. I went for my physical in November. I get my testosterone tested, 788.
Come on.
Bro, if I'm lying, I'm flying.
All natural, 788.
100% natural, man. I got the right supplements. I got the right diet. I got the right training methodology. People just got to get on board with this, dude. And the problem is that, if you're taking TRT and things like that, that speeds up the growth of other things too. And it leads right to prostate cancer. Leads right to it. Okay. Look, this methodology, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. I got a guy in his 70s just put more muscle mass on. He increased his muscle mass by 7% over last year.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is incredible. This stuff works. Okay, the InBody machine?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a professor at Bergen, and we have the InBody machine there, right? And one of the women in our exercise department, she goes, "Come on, I've been dying to get you on this thing." So I'm like, okay, I go on. I'm over 51% muscle, my body weight. She goes, "You have the stats of someone in their mid-20s."
And this is from the Body Bell method.
Yep. I'm telling you, I don't know what else to tell people. You just got to try it. You got to get on board.
A lot of women they get on testosterone now, women. It's a huge thing because their hormones drop when they get older. And what supplements would you recommend to a woman who needs that for her mood and her whatever they take testosterone for?
Listen, we have just about everything that we need in our own bodies, just how to get it. I mean, do I take something extra? Yeah, I take creatine. I only started creatine when I was 59, though, just to stave off sarcopenia.
I take almost 20 milligrams of creatine now. I take 10 in the morning, 10 at night for cognitive function. I don't even take it for working out.
I take 5.
Yeah. No, if you get, let's say you're supposed to get 8 hours sleep. If you have a bad night of sleep, you get 2 or 3 hours, 20 grams of creatine or milligrams of creatine, your brain functions as if you got 8 hours sleep. Creatine's huge for cognitive function.
Creatine's huge. Great. No, yeah. Yes, it's actually, it's funny because when I was taking my master's and we studied all the different supplements, there's very few I can speak. Mouth is dry. There are very few supplements that actually really work.
Yeah, your body.
Creatine's one of them. Yeah, creatine's one of them.
What do you take for test for your test support? Is there anything like Trebulous Tetris, Turk 500? Is there anything like that?
Kettlebell swings.
That's it?
Yeah, I don't take any of it. I'm
no
telling
boosters.
You,
wow,
nothing. I'm telling you, it's just that I don't miss my workouts. I hit it hard. Like here yesterday, I train Bergen Catholic's wrestling team. I'm the strength coach for them, so I work out with these guys. I took them through a ladders yesterday. So 2 24 kg kettlebells, right? Did a swing ladder up to 10 and back down. That's 122 swings. I did the same thing with squats, presses, and rows.
Wow.
So
real quick for a woman right now who's watching, and I barbers that watch too, right? I'm just sorry, guys. I'm going to single you out here, but I would say 90% of my audience is female hairstylists, and take us through like an intro, like what size kettlebell if they wanted to purchase one.
Okay.
What would be that weight?
Yeah, the thing is, here's the thing. Everybody's different and everybody is different. If you have, a 5'1", 110-pound girl versus like 5'6", 150-pound girl, they're probably going to use different size kettlebells.
Yeah.
So I would say anything from a 12 kg, that's like 26 pounds. You know,
Okay.
Here's the problem. Start with the one kettlebell. Get down some swings, some squats, things like that. Then maybe get another one smaller for the presses. The thing is, you know, if people say, "Oh, I'm going to start with a small one," you know, the thing is, if it's too small,
I'll grow it.
you're not even going to get the benefit out of it. You're going to be doing it incorrectly because you can muscle it. Because people they use their arms on their swings and they squat too much. You're supposed to hip hinge, and your arms are supposed to be like ropes. You're supposed to do all the drive from your hips. And heck, if you have a small kettlebell, you can do crappy form because
I've
too
got
small.
injured more so with lighter ones than I have with heavier ones, to be honest.
Of course, because you're focusing on the heavier one.
Yeah.
That's why as soon as I know someone can do it safely, I up the weight because they're going to focus more and the rep will be better.
Yeah, like today I was on a 70-pound swing, and I felt like it was perfect for me.
Yep. Yeah. Because you were focused. Now you go and do it with a 40-pound kettlebell.
It's too light.
It's too late. You're not getting the benefit out of the bell.
Yeah, I don't engage my core enough. I don't lock my lats down. It's actually not enough weight for my lats. To
No.
Yeah.
No. And then you can get away with it. Then you make crappy form. And then when you go up heavier and you're using that same crappy form, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
This is why also I preach to people, every time you put your hand on a kettlebell, treat it as if it's the largest kettlebell you can imagine ever using. So you want to respect the kettlebell. You know, I talk about kettlebell safety. Oh yeah, you know what's really cool too? If people just go to my site, the Body Bell Method site, they click on, they get a free manual. That's the manual I wrote for. I retooled it a little bit though, but you know NASM, right?
Mm-hmm.
National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Yep.
I wrote their first kettlebell manual in 2010.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and but I retooled it. It's a it's up to date. I changed a couple things in it, but yeah, they can get it for free just by going onto my site. And if they go onto the philross.com site, they can get a free self-defense manual. So, and of course, you know, when if you go, you know, I did talk about the series on the you know, your benches, BS and all that. But here's something else that I have. I think that because you mentioned shoulders, I had shoulder surgery in November 2023. Okay. Rotator cuff, torn labrum, bone spurs, and partial bicep tendon. And you know, I had the torn labrum for like 30 years. My kettlebell training enabled me to be able to keep going with that and still compete and still work out. But then eventually what happened was all the bone spurs got there and kind of sawed off everything. Yeah. But I'll tell you, like on Saturday, I did a get up with an 88-pound kettlebell.
Jesus.
Yeah.
With that same shoulder.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm healed. You know? So, and what I did though, is I chronicled my journey from 16 weeks of therapy. A lot of it I did myself, but 16 weeks of therapy for building my shoulder back. And it's all up on my YouTube channel. So when you're talking about people who had an injury to the shoulder, or they want to avoid it, or their shoulders hurt, definitely go and look at what I did. I did that for a reason. I wanted to put it out there and say, hey, you know what? Hope's not over. Because you know, so many people, they hurt their shoulder, like, they're done. You know, you can't, don't accept it. You're not done. Just here, try this methodology. You know, try it out, see if it works for you. And, you know, it incorporated kettlebells, but I couldn't do them at first. And I use like little lump hammers, sledgehammers, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was still behind the chairs, but I'm going back probably 10 years ago. I was working out. I think I was doing planks and some kind of explosive movement from a plank, something I saw on YouTube, some stupid movement I shouldn't have done. And I wound up when I went back home, I stepped in my shower over the shower, lifted my leg up, and it just popped my lower back. I don't know what happened. I was done. And I was bent over. I couldn't straighten out. My buddy's a physical therapist. He got me back like straight again. It took me like 7 hours one day with him and like 7 the next. So I had to get back behind the chair. Like I have to do hair to make money.
You have to work. Yeah.
And then that's when I started really looking into kettlebells and like, all right, I have to be able to fix this. And since then, I mean, I do my hangs from a pull-up bar to decompress my lower back.
That's fantastic to do. I you know, they say you should, you know, the statistics show, or studies have shown that 20 minutes. I don't know if I quite do 20 minutes of hanging, but I do a lot.
Yeah.
That's great for the back. And I have an inversion table
Knock on
too.
wood. Yeah. And my lower back, I give kettlebells the full credit to it.
Yeah. It's, a lot of the stuff you don't need. Here's the thing too, is that you want to look at back pain as like a cold. Okay. You're going to get it. 80% of the people in the world suffer from back pain at some time in their life. So it's going to happen. Well, what are you going to do about it? Don't freak out. Know that I have the philosophy of I attack the back. If I have back pain, I attack it. I go right at it. I move it. It hurts for a little bit. And look, everybody's got their own level of pain tolerance. Yeah. And go to your ability. But the thing is, you're going to have to get uncomfortable a little bit. And then what happens if you work that? I'll tell you, very rarely does it last more than 3 to 4 days.
If you do it the right way, yeah.
If you do it the right way. Sometimes I'm better in a day. And I'll tell you, most of the time I avoid it. I don't have it. And when I was younger, I threw my back out way more than I throw it out now. Way more. Like
we were also a little more reckless when we were younger too.
Yeah. I probably did a lot of dumb things. Yeah. I just do less dumb things now.
Yeah. All right. So if I'm watching right now and I'm listening and I want to contact you, Phil, and I want either a program, I want to help, I want to get back in my career again. I want to make sure that I can go injury-free for another 10, 15 years in my career.
Heck yeah.
Where's the best place to reach you? How can I get in touch with you? What would you guide someone to?
Super easy. Okay. Worst comes to worst, just go to philross.com. You can get to me anywhere. Or the Body Build Method. Fill out a contact sheet, email. My email's there. It comes to me. You have a question, I'll answer it. You hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. I get back to people.
I think it'll be fun if we could do an in-person event too, because I want to put together an event for everyone, and not just obviously fitness and like strengthening their body, self-defense. A lot of women, they need to learn how to defend themselves, especially with all the crazy stalkers out there nowadays. They're posting on social media, and then we could kind of maybe combine forces here and do something fun for everybody.
I'd love to. The thing is, I have a program which people might be interested in. It's self-reliance through self-defense and strength.
Okay.
Yeah, I've delivered that many times.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It's I think it'll be great for your audience because listen, you have that strength and you have that self-defense. That's going to give you self-reliance and self-confidence.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's awesome. Phil, I could talk to you for like 10 hours.
I know. It's crazy, right? We just keep going.
Yeah. But, we're going to have to do it again. I want to definitely,
absolutely.
Maybe in studio, maybe show people some movements too.
Oh, 100%. Oh, you know what we can do? I could take this into my gym and I show stuff.
Yeah. And we got the whole camera crew to do it too. So
awesome.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Let's rock and roll.
Phil.
All right. Buddy.
Yeah. Everyone check him out. Phil Ross. And Phil, thanks, man. Thanks for spending the hour with us.
My pleasure. Strength and honor.
All right, brother. All right. I'll see you later.
All right.
James, we're all good, man.